There are many things that are important to me in this life. There are many values that I have, and there are many things that are non-negotiables for me. The one thing that ties it all together, and we'll get into how it does this, is hunting. Hunting ties everything together. It makes life full circle. And I'm going to tell you how. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Owen, and I am in Minnesota. So if you're not familiar with the area, we got a lot of deer around here. I think car accidents with deer are more common than, I don't know, they're very common around here. So hunting is a big part of our culture around here, but it's an even bigger part of my life. Hunting is something that I think every person should at least attempt once in their life. Hunting is about as close as you get to feeling like our ancestors did. Hunting is something people have been doing for thousands of years, and it's something people will continue to do for thousands of years, I believe. Like I mentioned before, there are a lot of things in my life that I'm working on. I'm working on my fitness, I'm working on my finance, I'm working on my mind, I'm working on it all every day. I'm doing the best that I can. The one thing that solidifies that and the one thing that makes it real is hunting. The way hunting makes it real is just the raw nature of it. When you're out in the woods with a bow or a rifle, it's just you, that tool, and those animals out there. And whether you like to admit it or not, God is with you too. Nothing brings me closer to my beliefs, what I'm trying to work on, than hunting, because when you're hunting you have to be quiet, and you usually have to be quiet for many hours on end. So when you're quiet, when there's no distractions, I mean, some people are on their phones when they're hunting, but you should try not to be, because you're watching the woods. Depending on when you get out there hunting, like in the morning, you get to watch the woods wake up. It may be a little creepy getting out there. Have to admit that myself. There's definitely been some times where you hear a stick snap going out there in the pitch blackness, and it's a little scary. But there's nothing like it. Then you get in your tree stand, your ground blind, whatever you're doing, or you're just walking, and you get to watch the woods wake up. You're quiet. It's like you're not even there. You just get to watch the woods as if you weren't there. You get to see shadows appear, shadows disappear with the sun coming up. You get to see animals working their way. A lot of times you're going to see other things than the animal you're hunting. Like you'll see, if you're hunting deer, you'll see turkeys, you'll see squirrels, you'll see rabbits, all that sort of cool stuff. And when you're quiet for that long, you have to deal with a lot of things that come up. Because when your brain has nothing to do, your mind wanders. You start to think about all kinds of things. For me, if I have current stresses going on or current goals, those come up and I work through a lot of things. I would say for things that I have struggled with, I've learned a lot about in the deer stand. For example, last year I was really struggling with bench press. So I didn't know what to do. My bench wasn't going up, whatever. So I spent some time thinking about it in the deer stand, and then I came to a solution that actually helped increase my bench over the months after I implemented it. So it's very raw. Your brain, you get to think about a lot of things. And you also question yourself a lot. I mean, because you have nothing else to do except for think, except for reach deep in your soul. You do that, and you question the things that you believe. You're sitting out there, and I know for me, probably everything I think of, so God, because you're in God's creation, and because you see it all around you, you see all the different parts, you really just, for me, it solidifies that belief that God is real and what he could do is unmatched to anything else that is close to it. There's nothing like God. There's nothing like what he has created. It's amazing. There are a lot of other things I thought about, a lot of other issues, kind of like I touched with the bench press. There are a lot of things, a lot of problems that I've had in current times. I go out to the woods, and even if I didn't see a single deer all night, I come out of the woods with a clear mind and an action plan ready to go for whatever question, comment, concern I have. Plus, we get into the other side of hunting, where it's when you actually see animals and you actually have a successful hunt. Now, hunting is also very real in the way that you're taking an animal's life, and that there is no lightness in that. Even if it's just a squirrel, you still feel it a little bit. But especially when it's like a nice mature buck or whatever you're hunting, when it's considered nice for that class, it's a little bit sad to see that animal, especially if you make a good shot, to see that animal kind of know it's over. But it's very rewarding. And then at the end of it, depending on what you're hunting, but we're going to talk about deer here or big game, you get to fill your freezer with the highest quality meat you can possibly get. You know, on this page, I talk about fitness, I talk about finance, but with fitness, you have diet, obviously, right? Well, I'll tell you what, a lot of people kind of glaze the carnivore diet, and I think it's decent, whatever, but the general premise of diet, no matter what you follow, you should have a good source of protein, meat, with every single meal. Venison, or whatever game animal you're hunting, that is the best source of protein you can get. And it's very cheap. I don't know if, when I shoot a nice deer, I shot a nice buck 2 years ago. He netted about 100 pounds of meat. I think it was a little bit less, but give or take. Let's just say 100 for a nice round number. 100 pounds of meat at that quality, if I was to buy that at the store, that would be... And keep in mind, a lot of this was steaks. A lot of it was grind, but I got a lot of steaks out of it, some roasts, and a lot of grind meat. I mean, we're talking hundreds of dollars in meat that I only had to pay a tag fee for. And around here, because I'm still not 18, it's pretty cheap. I think it was like $5. So for $5 and a little bit of my time and a little bit of my energy, I was able to get a freezer full of meat. It's great. And that's if hunting goes good. And like I mentioned before, though, if hunting doesn't go good and you don't see anything, a bad day in the woods is still better than a good day on the couch. Just getting out in the woods and spending time there, honestly, is probably my favorite activity. Nothing quite compels to it, especially when it sucks. When it's cold outside, you don't want to get out there, but you actually get out there. And then maybe you don't shoot an animal, but you see one. As soon as you see the animal, the adrenaline hit from when you see the thing you're going after, it's unmatched, and I can't even explain it. And the only way for you to comprehend it is to actually be there and do it. And hunting ties a lot into self-improvement as well. You know, kind of like we talked about with the mental, but also it makes you realize, especially when, you know, you take that animal, it makes you realize that life is not guaranteed. Life is short. And it really solidifies the beliefs that you have that, hey, life is short, I need to make the best out of what I've been given. Because what I've been given may be taken from me tomorrow. Maybe taken me from 30 years. Maybe taken from me in 80 years. I don't know. But I need to make the best of every single day. And honestly, that's what it is. Hunting is the best. I think every single person should try it. It's not for everybody. It's not necessarily a dopamine-filled activity. There's a lot of boring spots in hunting. There's a lot of hard things about hunting. I mean, if you do take a deer, getting it out of the woods, that's hard. But to me, it's all worth it, plus a ton. Hunting is unparalleled. So that's what I wanted to talk about in this video. I wanted to talk about how hunting is definitely made me a better person. I would say every year I hunt, not only do my woodsmanship skills get better, not only do my kind of being crafty, if you will, those skills get better, but I also become a better person. And I truly believe that. I'm not just saying that for a video. I definitely feel like I become a better person. I grow more as an individual every single year I'm out in the woods. So on that note, I hope you guys enjoy the video. I hope you guys, if you take anything from this video, maybe learn about hunting. Maybe after this video, go look up deer hunting and see what you can find. Like anything, there's some bad apples in the space. I don't love every deer hunting YouTube channel, but there are definitely some good ones out there. Some ones that I'd recommend are The Hunting Public and Seek One. Those are both really good channels. They're a little bit more advanced because they talk about, well, I'll get into this in another video. I want to talk more about hunting. But they get into more, you know, like they travel across states. I kind of just hunt in the same areas every year, and I don't always, they shoot some very nice animals. I don't always even see animals half that nice, but they are good channels, and they really make you appreciate it for what it is. So yeah, on that note, like I always say, good luck and goodbye.